today is my last blue box. Let's get this open and see what's inside, and then I'll tell you why. Okay, so here is my March 2023 sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop. This box has recently gone up in price, I believe. I can't remember the exact amount, I'll link it down below, but I believe it is $29.95 a month now with shipping, which makes it about $38 for me. They hadn't raised the price in a really long time, so the price was not an issue for me. I actually think that their value is always there in this box. And so that's not one of the reasons I'm canceling, so I'll explain more about that later. But the theme this month is Scenic Route. This is interesting. They send a preview out every month, and I didn't get a chance to look at the preview this month, so I have no idea what's in here, and that doesn't look familiar. Usually the color card is sort of a guess as to what the fabric is, and that doesn't really look familiar to me, so we'll see what's in here. Now on the back of this card, there's usually a discount code. So today it is buy one, get one jelly roll half off. So there's a code if you go to Fat Quarter Shop to get buy one, get one half off on jelly rolls. And that's only for the box subscribers. So I'm not going to show you that right now. Okay, so I recognize a bunch of things in here right away. One of them is the fabric, and that is Simply Delightful by Sherry and Chelsea. I already have some of this fabric because I sell Moda fabric. It's a really cute line. Their newest line. It's kind of basics. It's not a lot of prints. There's a few like florals like this, but they're all like in different colors, the same print. There's this print right here. It's hard to show you without taking the whole thing apart. There's their typical polka dots. There's this print, which they've used in other lines before. And then this print here, which they've used in other lines before, different colors. And then this like cross hatch. Let me see if we can find another color that's hard to see. This cross hatch pattern. And then their stripes. So these are all different prints that they used in other lines that they recolored for this line. And it's all just, this whole line is simple patterns. It's not like their typical fabric line where there's lots of florals and some sort of blender prints mixed in. It's all sort of blenders. So that's really pretty. That's nice to have. This wasn't my favorite line by them, to be honest with you, just because I am so used to them having their prints and then the blenders go with it and make a really pretty quilt. But if you're going for a more modern quilt where you just need a bunch of blenders, I think this would be actually really perfect. So that is a junior jelly roll, and it is a $21.98 value. So that's that. The next thing that I grabbed out here is a Quilter Select, which is Alex Anderson. I love her stuff. My favorite tool from her is this actually. This is not in the box. This is just something I have. This is a seam ripper and stiletto tool all in one. This is my favorite tool from her. So I really like her stuff, and she does the Quilter Select rulers. But this is a Quilter Select Self-Erase Marker, 2-in-1 precision tip fabric marker and eraser. Okay, very nice. I might have to give that a go. I usually use friction pens, but this one looks pretty cool. I've never tried that one before. Let's see what it says. This value is $8.48, so right there between the fabric and that, we've already kind of made up the value of the cost of the box. This is the Quilter Select Self-Erasing Marker, marks a new era for fabric marking. With bright purple ink that shows up easily on most fabrics, this precision tip marker writes easily and disappears after 1 to 7 days. Okay, so it disappears on its own, which means, actually on the marker itself, which is interesting, it says 1 to 14, but on the paper it says 1 to 7. So, so if you are making marks and you're going to leave your project sit for more than a few days, you probably you're going to have to remark it, or you're going to want to make sure you put it on right before you need to use it. You can use the included eraser for immediate removal, but you won't be able to easily erase this notion from your sewing drawer. Okay, so I'll have to give that a try. All right, the next thing on here, which I already have, I've sold a bunch of these in my shop, and I tried it on my machine. It's really cute. If you like cats, Dritz cat pin magnet. There's a suction cup on it, and you stick that right on the front of your machine, And I didn't use it for pins, but what I use it for is, and I don't have a pair, I don't think right here. Maybe I do. Let me see. I don't know if these ones will stick. Yeah. Is I stick it on my machine with a little pair of snips. So it holds your snips. So your snips are right there for you when you need a snips. Not this pair. This pair is like a fancier pair, but like one of those regular, you know, pairs. This one's a little heavier, so they'll spin around, but regular pairs that don't have this fancy little design them, they'll stay put. I keep this on my machine and keep the snips stuck to it, so when I need to trim up something, cut some threads on the thing I'm working on, they're right there and I don't have to go digging for them. So this is a cute little thing. The suction cup, I will tell you, stays stuck really well. I've never had it fall off or anything like that, so this is a really good notion. If you like cats, it's got a cat head. So there's that. Let's see what else is in here, because there's a few more goodies. I'm gonna flip it to the back. Oh, and that was a $6.24 value. Okay, so this is the Cut Right Bind Up Tool. Oh, another binding tool. I don't know how many binding tools we've gotten in boxes like these over the years, more than I can count, and I've got my own way of doing binding, so I'm not even going to take this out. I'm going to put it in like some giveaway stuff because I know I won't use this, because the way I do binding, I've figured out a good method where it works every time. So, and you don't need any special rulers. But if you're new to quilting and you need some help doing your binding, this might come in handy. This is a $9.98 value, and it says, take the frustration out of finishing your binding with the Cut Right Bind Up tool. This fantastic notion is the fast and easy way to achieve perfect mitered seams in every single quilt binding. It works with all binding strip widths, no measuring required. Cut down on your binding time with this tool for more time spent enjoying your quilting. Yeah, so this is perfect, I think, for new quilters, because newer quilters might have some trouble figuring out the mitered joining your binding strips on the mitered. But again, not a problem for me. I've been doing it for a long time, so I'm definitely going to pass this on to somebody who I think could use it. Put my knife away. It's not useful for me, and that's also one of the reasons I'm canceling the box, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So, and then this is a quilt strap carrier. If you're binding on the go or simply headed out for a picnic, don't forget the quilt strap carrier to safely secure your quilts while on the move. To use, fold and roll up your quilt. Simply slip the quilt strap carrier loops over both ends of your quilt and pull to tighten. Okay, that's interesting. I've never seen anything like that. And it does say that that is a limited edition quilt strap carrier, and it's a bonus for this month. This is from the Fat Quarter Shop. Looks like they made this. This is interesting. I've never seen anything like this before. I'm not sure if I would be taking my quilts out somewhere where I'd want to wrap them up, but maybe one of you do. And like they said, binding on the go, like if you're in the car, maybe you want to have your quilt wrapped up and put this around. I'm not sure. It would be nice to see, and maybe there is a video out there, but it would be nice to see them show us exactly how to use this, because there's not really any instructions. I mean, I get the general idea. Interesting. And it's a bonus. It's $9.98, the retail cost. So we're well over the cost of the box. So from the value of the box standpoint, it's really good. Okay, and this is what I've been waiting for and why I haven't canceled the box yet, is the finishing for the block of the month for this year. So here's the finishing pattern. Fig Tree Quilts designed the quilt this year, so it's nice to see this. So that's the finishing instructions from the block of the month for this year. And then we have the quilt pattern. So the quilt pattern is a $9.98 value, and it says limited finishing. Oh, here's the block, the last block from the Fig Tree thing. So we get a block every month, and then we got the finishing instructions. This is using the strips from the fabric we got. That's actually kind of what I was talking about. It's a more modern quilt, and it looks like you just are literally using the strips and some background fabric, so great way to use this fabric. actually really like this. The quilt is only 48 by 48, but I bet you could either buy another jelly roll and some more backing fabric and make it bigger pretty easily, or you can border this quilt. Although I'm not sure if this quilt would look good with a border just because of the style of quilt it is. So I would probably just buy another jelly roll and some additional background fabric and make it bigger, if you're not happy with it 48 by 48. Now that would be this would be a great play blanket for a baby, or maybe even like a picnic blanket. It's just not going to make a really big quilt. So that's what I would do. I would get an additional jelly roll, get some more background fabric, and make this quilt bigger. I actually really like this. It's called Easy Street. It looks like it's really super easy. Yeah, you're just cutting the strips into some smaller pieces and adding some background squares and strips. And this looks like this would go together really fast. Okay, so that's nice. It's nice to have an easy quilt. And I do like the way they use the fabric. I think that looks really, really good. So I would just personally buy another jelly roll and make it bigger and some more background fabric, but that's my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to put all this back in the box and then we'll talk about it. Okay, well, I thought this was a pretty good box overall. The fabric I really like, and I do love their patterns. I think Fat Quarter Shop always does a really great job with their patterns. They are always in color. They have really good directions inside of them. The only thing that I can say negative about them is that they give you a lot of small quilt patterns. I wish they gave us a little bit bigger quilt pattern, but that's just my opinion because I don't need a bunch of baby size quilts. But like I said, I think this one you could easily make bigger just by getting another jelly roll, well, a full-size jelly roll. This is a junior jelly roll, and then some more background fabric, and I think it would turn out great. So I'm excited about that because I definitely will probably make this quilt if I can find another jelly roll with that fabric. The fabric's been out for a little bit, and sometimes pre-cuts go fast, so I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but if I can, I probably will get that. The reasons why I'm canceling the sew sampler. I think the sew sampler is really, really great value. You get great value for what you pay for it. It's usually always at least what you pay for at the value, if not more. Most of the time it's more. My only problem with the sew sampler is I feel this box is more geared towards a beginner quilter, or maybe beginner to advanced quilter who doesn't have a whole lot of things, who's just learning, and that's not me. I'm a more advanced quilter now, and most of the things that come in these boxes I've already seen, I already have, or they're things that aren't useful to me because I've already kind of gotten set in my ways and do things my way, like the binding tool. I mean, I think this is great if you're brand new, because I know newer quilters struggle with their binding, with making the mitered edges. That's not me. So this is not, I'm not even, like I said, I'm not even going to open this because I'm going to pass this on to somebody else who might be able to use it. And like this cat magnet, this has been on the market for quite a while. I was selling these in my shop for a while. I have one for myself. And so this is not new to me. And I feel like because it's been on the market for a long time that this was probably something that they just needed to fill the box with. They don't sell very well, so they probably had some and just decided to put it in the box. And then the Quilter Select pen. This is new to me and I'm excited to try this, but again, it's not something I would probably go to a store and purchase because I am used to using the friction pens. Not that this is a criticism, they wouldn't know that I use friction pens. But I do think this is a good tool, but not necessarily something that I would buy myself. And this, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure what quilter is going to wrap up their quilt and tie it tight with a canvas strap to take it on the road with them. This is interesting, and yeah, this is like one of those things that I open the box and I kind of scratch my head and go, I know I would never tie my quilt with this because this would leave deep grooves in my quilt if I left it on for any length of time. And yeah, I mean, it's well made, it's canvas, it's thick. I'm just not quite sure what they're thinking with that. So, but again, that's just my opinion. And just, there's a lot of stuff like that over the last year, what led me to the decision to quit this box. We've gotten a lot of things that I like that I feel like aren't super normal or useful to use. And then we've got a lot of things that were repeats. How many months in a row did we get hand sewing needles? How many months in a row did we get thread conditioner? I mean, you can only use so much of that stuff, number one. And number two, I'm not a hand sewer at all, so none of that even worked for me. So I ended up giving it all away. And to be honest with you, if I look back out of all the boxes over the last year, I've kept the fabric on most boxes and I've kept the pattern, but almost all the things that were in the box I've given away, because almost everything that was in there was not new to me. Either because I sell it or because I've been quilting for so long that I either had something similar or the exact same thing. So that's where I was saying that I don't think this is a bad box. I actually think it's a really good box, but I think it's more for a beginner. So that being said, that is why I'm going to cancel the box. I have been getting it for years, so it's a little bit of a like FOMO thing to to quit the box, but when I am being honest with myself and with you guys, when I'm giving away almost everything in every box every month, it seems really silly to spend the money, and I could use that on something else. So the money that I would spend on this next month might be going to find another jelly roll so I can make that quilt bigger, because I really do like that quilt pattern. I just want it to be bigger because it's too small even for a picnic blanket or anything like that. I was looking at the size and I thought, I can barely put 2 kids on it. So yeah, so that's my opinion of the box. I don't think there's, like I said, anything wrong with it. I just think that I get other boxes and they're more advanced, geared towards somebody like me. They're either project based or I get a lot of fabric so I can be creative and do something with it on my own. And so this one is no longer for me. Not saying that it's no longer for you. If you enjoy it, keep getting it. And I think Fat Quarter Shop does a really good job. And Kimberly has built an amazing business, an amazing box. So if you like this, I'm going to link it down below so you can go subscribe. I think, like I said, the price is really, really good. And I think it's really amazing that they've only raised the price once in years, because I've been getting this box for years. I took a little bit of a 6-month break or so a couple years ago, just due to some financial issues. And then I got back into it, and I have really liked it over the years. I just have outgrown it. So I hope you enjoyed this box opening, and keep coming back to my channel because I've got lots more stuff coming out, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.